Hi children, in today's video we are entering into part 3 of the chapter and the topic for today is the age of revolutions 1830 to 1848. Whatever things we are going to discuss in this part are related with the time period 1830 to 1848 and today we are going to discuss about the first two topics of this part. In previous part, that is in part 2, we have discussed about conservatives, right? Conservatives, they were trying to strengthen their power. As they were trying to strengthen their power, the revolution started to be very strong among the people. For example, when British were controlling us very strongly, what we did, we were fighting against the British in very aggressive way, right? Similarly, here, as a conservatives, they were trying to strengthen their power. The idea of nationalism spreaded very faster in the form of revolution. Revolution means what? People were fighting against the monarchical rule. And these revolutions were very severe in the places called Italy, German states, provinces of the Ottoman Empire, Ireland, and Poland. And who led these revolutions means educated people like professors, school teachers, clerks, and the commercial middle class people. Only these people were very much involved in these revolutions. And the main problem happened in July 1830 in France. And at that time, Bourbon dynasty was ruling, and the people who were in revolution, they were called as revolutionaries, right? So revolutionaries finally they defeated the Bourbon dynasty, and they came to power. They formed constitutional monarchy. That means they formed a constitution with rules and regulations, and they made one person as a head of the monarchy. So that head should obey the people's decision also. So that is what constitutional monarchy then. And after forming the constitutional monarchy, they made Louis Philippe as its head. And remember, earlier we discussed in part 2, right, under Treaty of Vienna, the Napoleonic changes were restored, right? So here, Bourbon dynasty was defeated by Napoleon. And next thing, conservatives defeated Napoleon and gave the power back to Bourbon dynasty. But now again what happened? Liberals defeated Bourbon dynasty and they are forming a constitutional monarchy. Are you clear with this? Now, this problem was happening in France, right? So Metternich is giving a statement about France. Earlier he gave a statement about Mazzini, right? Now he is giving a statement about France. What he said means when France sneezes, rest of Europe catches cold. Only cold, not corona, okay? So why he is stating this means when the France is getting affected, it will spread like a forest fire to other places and all the people will also be involved in the same. So when France is getting affected, entire Europe will also be affected. So to indicate that he is saying when France sneezes, rest of Europe catches cold. Are you clear with this children? And as it was happening in July, it is called as July Revolution. And now what happened? This idea of nationalism spread to other places, right? So it spread to Brussels also. You know about Brussels, right? It is the capital of Belgium. Because of that problem, Belgium started to be breaking away from the United Kingdom of the Netherlands. Earlier, Belgium was under the United Kingdom of the Netherlands. But now what happened? The people came to understand about getting independence and all, right? So now what happened? They just moved away from the United Kingdom of the Netherlands. Clear? So first, conservatives were trying to consolidate their power. Immediately, people started to involve in revolution more and more. Especially educated people like school teachers, professors, clerks, business class people. So these people were mainly involved in revolution. And the first problem actually happened in France in July 1830 because of which it is called as July Revolution. And here the liberals defeated the Bourbon dynasty and formed constitutional monarchy. And for that they made Louis Philippe as its head. Clear? And now Metternich is stating that when France sneezes, the rest of Europe catches cold. As he said, this idea of nationalism spread to Belgium and it got shifted, right? It got like different country or different territory from United Kingdom of Netherlands. Okay, so take a note of this. Write notes in your notes note. And now coming to the next thing, Greek War of Independence. So the same problem was happening in Greece also. Clear. So Greece, actually it was under Ottoman Empire since 15th century. And now what happened? The idea of nationalism is getting spreaded in Greece also. Immediately the people were fighting for independence from Ottoman Empire. And for this struggle, the Greek people who were living outside the Greece, they were also helping a lot. Exile means what? They were not living in their native places, right? So those people were helping. Additionally, Western Europeans also were helping the Greek people to get independence. Okay, Greeks helping Greeks is very normal thing. But why Western Europeans helped them? Because they had sympathy for the ancient Greek culture. That is why they helped the Greek people for getting independence. Clear? And for this struggle, poets and artists, they were thinking that if Greece gets independence, then the Europe will get civilization. Okay, so lauded means they are praising Greece as the cradle. That means like a baby, they are admiring it. Okay, so poets and artists, they are admiring Greece as a baby cot of European civilization. Okay, so Greece will be the first step for the civilization, like that they were thinking. For that purpose, what happened? The poets and artists, they are writing many poems, writing many articles and all to get public support against the Ottoman Empire. And one example is Lord Byron. So Lord Byron, what he did means he collected many funds for the war, and he also went to fight in the war. But unfortunately, he died because of fever in 1824. Finally, by the Treaty of Constantinople 1832, Greek became an independent nation. Are you clear, children? So this is a very important one mark question. So Treaty of Constantinople 1832 declared Greek, that is Greece, as an independent nation. So this is about Greek War of Independence. So Greece was under Ottoman Empire since 15th century, and the revolution is getting spreaded in Europe. So now Greek people also came to know about it, and they started to fight against the Ottoman Empire. And for this struggle, Greeks living in other places who were in exile were helping. Additionally, Western Europeans also helped because they had sympathy for the Greek culture. And poets and artists, they are thinking Greece is the main step for the European civilization. And because of that, they wrote many articles to get public support to oppose the Ottoman Empire. One such example is Lord Byron. He organized funds and went to fight in war, but he died because of fever in 1824. Finally, which treaty made Greece as an independent nation? Treaty of Constantinople of 1832. Okay, here also you need to remember here. And now comes a question for you. Who is Lord Byron? So here I didn't mention anything about Lord Byron, and you want to check your book, read line by line and find who is Lord Byron and underline the same word in your textbook also. Now coming to the next topic, romantic imagination and national feeling. So here we are discussing about the artist and language plus culture. Clear? So not only wars helped to found nationalism. Okay, nationalism happened not only because of the war, but culture and language played a major role in making nationalism possible. Clear? So culture means what we are saying means about art, poems, stories, music. So this is what we are mentioning as culture. So culture, it will be greatly useful to express our national feelings. When we are singing a patriotic song, we will have some feelings over our nation, right? So that is what they are saying. So culture played a vital role to spread the idea of nation with the help of art, poetry, stories and music. So it was helping a lot to express the nationalistic feelings. And here we are discussing about a culture called Romanticism. So it is nothing but a cultural movement developing a particular type of nationalist sentiments. So, what type of nationalistic sentiments? So, the romantic artists and poets, they were against the science and reason. Okay, so they are not interested with science, technology, and all. Instead of that, they were focusing on emotions, intuitions, and mystical feelings. Okay, so romanticism, it is a culture which develops a particular type of nationalistic feelings, right? So what is that particular type means? They were against the science and reason, and they were believing on emotions, intuitions, and mystical feelings. What is intuition? So you are believing something, but you cannot explain it why. So that is called as intuitions. Mystical feelings means so you are believing that definitely there will be some hidden meaning for our life. So that is what mystical feelings. So romantic artists, they will be believing on such feelings. Are you clear? And one example, German philosopher Johann Gottfried Herder. This person, what he is saying means the German culture must be discovered among the common people. For example, if you want to know about the Indian culture, what you should do, you should go and communicate with Indians. Only then you can get to know what is the culture of India. Similarly, this person is saying that the German culture can be discovered from the common people. That is called as Das Volk. Clear. And folk songs, folk poetry, folk dances, so these things only is spreading the spirit of nation. Because of these only the nationalistic idea is getting spreaded. Okay, so like that he is saying. So collecting and recording folk culture is very essential for national building. So this was his thought. Are you clear with this? So, in exam, they will ask you development of nationalism didn't come through wars and territorial expansion. So, you need to write about culture and language. First, we completed about culture. So, culture played a very important role in creating the idea of nationalism with art, poetry, stories, and music. So, it will be helpful for us to express our national feelings. And one example for such culture is Romanticism. It is a cultural movement which develops a particular type of national feeling. So, what is that particular type means? They will be criticizing science and reason. Instead of that, they will be focusing on emotions, intuitions, and mystical feelings. Are you clear? And they thought that this type of culture must give shared collective heritage and common cultural past for all the people. So, when all the people are having common culture and common heritage, only then it will be called as a nation, right? So, according to the Romanticist, the culture must create a shared collective heritage and common cultural past. So, that would be the basis of a nation. Then, one such example is Johann Gottfried Herder. He is a German philosopher, and he is saying that the German culture is to be discovered among the common people called Das Volk, and folk songs, folk poetry, folk dances will be helping to popularize the ideas of nation. Clear. So we are having the songs like traditional songs and all. So because of that only we are learning about what happened in ancient times. So that is what these people are saying. So only if you listen to folk songs, folk poetry and folk dances, you will come to know about nation. So collecting and recording folk culture is very important because it will be essential for national building. Are you clear, children? So you need to take notes of this and this slide. This is single question having 8 points. Okay, so in exam if they ask you about culture, you need to write these 8 points. Are you clear? Next one is very interesting one. Vernacular language. Vernacular language means what? The language spoken by the local people, right? So Tamil Nadu, what is a vernacular language? Kerala, what is a vernacular language? Like that. We are going to discuss about how language helped to develop the nationalism. And culture or literature and all, you need to read something, right? So the people who cannot read or who cannot understand by reading the textbook, what should be done to make them understand about nationalism? We should speak to them, right? So a person don't know how to read and write, but we want to make him understand about nationalism, so we need to sit and speak with that person. So language will be easily understandable, right? Vernacular language. So that is what here we are discussing. Vernacular language is helping us to carry the idea of nationalism towards the illiterate people. Are you clear? And this was especially happening in Poland. For culture, we discussed about Romanticism, right? So here for language, we are discussing about Poland. Poland, it was divided by great powers like Russia, Prussia, and Austria. Okay, so Poland was ruled by different powers like Russia, Prussia, and Austria. Few places in Poland was under Russia, few places were under Prussia. Similarly, some of the other places were under Austria. Clear. So even though Poland was splitted under different powers, they just kept their music and language very live. That means they were using their own language music and they were speaking their own language to keep their nationalistic feelings alive. Okay, even though the Polish people are under Russia, they are thinking we are Polish people. So Polish is our language, like that. They are keeping their nationalistic idea alive. Clear. And one example is Karol Kurpinski. So this person, he was celebrating the struggle through operas and music. Operas means they will sing a song, but that song will be like a story. So that is operas, right? So Karol Kurpinski, he was celebrating the struggle by using operas and music. Even in India, during the struggle for independence, many people were singing patriotic songs. They were just shouting with some slogans and all, right. Go back, Simon. So that was one of the common thing. Likewise, here they were using operas and music and dances as a national weapon. Are you clear? So Karol Kurpinski, he is using operas and music to celebrate the struggle. And folk dances, how we are having Kuchipudi, Kathakali, Bharatanatyam and all like that. For them in Poland, the dances names are Polonais and Mazurka. So they are making these dances as their national symbol. Okay. So how we are having traditional dances, likewise for them, they made Polonais and Mazurka as the national symbol for Poland. Even though different powers were ruling them, they are using these things in common for the entire Polish people. Are you clear, children? So Poland was divided by Russia, Prussia, and Austria, but also they were keeping that Polish thing alive inside them. And one example is Karol Kurpinski. He's celebrating the struggle with the help of operas and music, and dances like Polonais and Mazurka was made as the national symbol. And Russia was one of the power ruling Poland, right? So wherever Russia ruled the Polish people, in those places, they just asked the people not to use Polish language. Okay, so wherever Russians ruled, they said the people to speak only Russian language and not their own language, Polish. Clear. So Russian language was imposed everywhere. It was made compulsory to speak only in Russian language. In 1831, armed rebellion was there. So Russians were taking the weapons and they were fighting against this decision, but it was crushed by the Russian people. So now the people understood, okay, we cannot fight with them. So what else can be done? So the people, they started to use Polish language without obeying the Russians. Clear? Russians, they are compelling the people to speak Russian language, but what the people did, they are not obeying it and they were continuously speaking Polish language. That means what? They were showing their opposition. Clear? So who are you to make us speak in your language? This is our wish. We will speak only in Polish language. Like that, they were opposing the Russian occupation. So in all the church gatherings, in all religious things, instructions were given only in the Polish language. So will the Russians be happy about it? No, right? So what happened? They started to arrest those people, and those people were sent to Siberia by Russian authorities as a punishment. Clear, children? So the Russian occupation, they just stopped Polish language in schools and all, and they are compelling the people to speak in Russian language. And the people were starting armed rebellion, but that was crushed. Immediately the clergies, they started to use Polish language in church gatherings, and they started to give religious instructions by using Polish language itself. So Russian people, they got angry and they started to arrest those people, and they were sent to Siberia as a punishment. Are you clear with this? So the Polish usage was like a symbol for struggle against the Russian dominance. Can you understand now how culture and language was helping to spread the idea of nationalism? Yes. So here we discussed about language. So language is helping to carry the idea of nationalism even to the illiterate people. And the Poland was divided by great powers, Russia, Prussia, and Austria, right? So the Poland was splittered, but the people were keeping that Polish patriotism inside them alive. And Karol Kurpinski, he was celebrating the struggle by using his operas and music, and the dances like Polonaise and Mazurka was made as the national symbols. And language, it was playing a vital role in developing the nationalistic feel. One example is Russian occupation in Poland. In Poland, wherever Russian people ruled, they were stopping the usage of Polish and imposing Russian language. They asked all the people to use only Russian language, and the people fought against it, but it was failure. And the church people, especially clergies, they started to use Polish language everywhere for religious instructions and for other purposes. Immediately what happened, they were arrested by the Russian people and sent to Siberia as punishment. Hence here the language was used as a weapon against the Russian dominance. Are you clear, children? So again, take notes on this particular slide. So this is also an important 5-mark question. And a surprise question for you, the second question. To which place was the Polish priest and bishop sent as punishment who spoke in Polish language? So Russian people, they made all the people to speak in Russian language, right? But the clergies were speaking in Polish language without obeying Russian. So to which place these clergies were sent as a punishment? Just comment this answer also. So totally we have discussed about 3 questions under the second topic. So the questions will be similar, but be very clear with all the words specified in the question so that you can give the right answer. How culture played an important role in the national movement in Europe means you want to write only about Romanticism and Gottfried Herder, the first 2 paragraphs under this topic. So just take your book, mark the first 2 paragraphs and write this question as the heading. Clear? And that carries 5 mark. And next question, how language played a vital role in developing national sentiments. So if this question is asked in 5 mark, you need to write 3rd and 4th paragraph of this topic. So mark the next 2 paragraphs and write the heading as this question. Or else they will give you the statement, the development of nationalism did not come through wars and territorial expansion justified. That means you should write through culture and language only it happened. So you need to write both answers. You need to write culture also, you need to write language also. So you should cut short and write it. Are you clear with this, children? So recap the video and read your textbook to be very clear. Underline the keywords every time when you watch the video and take notes without fail. Happy learning.